Hey guys, King of Charmanders here, and today I bring to you the best Magnamalo Dual Blades guide and meta builds. The best blast melee weapon. And this video analyzes the new Magnamalo Dual Blades. This weapon is the first status dual blade in the game, and the dual blades are also the best melee weapon to use for the blast element. First, we're going to start off with a quick blast element overview. And blast is an elemental status. Successful hits on the monster may build up blast, and inflicting enough blast buildup will inflict blast. I know that's a lot of blasting, but what blast does, it does around a 5% fixed damage of the monster's total HP. And each blast proc will cause the next one to take longer as the monster gains resistance the more you proc a status. So this was done all the way in June 10th, so if you don't read those notes, you're not going to know about this. But like you see right here, normally each time a status abnormality, any of them occurs, the monster gains resistance, making it less likely for the next status abnormality to occur. In summary, every time you make the monster go boom, it's going to be harder to make the monster go boom again. Moving on, we're going straight to the best builds for the Magnamalo Dual Blades. We have the best build number 1, Teostra Blastpowder level 3 and Blast Attack level 2. And this build maxes out Teostra Blastpowder at level 3 to increase your chance to inflict buildup by 37%. You also get Blast Attack level 2 with the Magnamalo Vambraces. In addition, Coral Puke Puke Helm provides lock-on. And this build provides a ton of extra skills with all of them contributing to the Dual Blades capabilities. No, seriously, it's insane. With 3 Elder Dragon pieces at grade 8, look at all the skills you have, and if you read all of them, they all have relevancy for the Dual Blades, so this build is awesome. However, the problem with this is this build is expensive due to requiring 3 Elder Dragon armor pieces at grade 8. Overall, you need 4 out of 5 of these at grade 8 for maximum power. However, a pro is this build can attack from any side of the monster to build up blast. To use this build, you need the Magnamalo Dual Blades at grade 8, or just as high as you can get it, the Coral Puke Puke Helmet at grade 8, the Teostra Mail at grade 8, Magnamalo Vambraces at grade 6, the Teostra Coil at grade 8, and the Teostra Greaves at grade 8. As for the next build, we have best build number 2, which is Status Sneak Attack level 5. This is the classic, as this build maxes out Status Sneak Attack level 5, which guarantees status ailment buildup when you attack it from behind. The Coral Puke Puke Helm will provide you lock-on, while this build requires you to attack from the side / behind a monster. So you don't need to be exactly behind the cheeks, you just need to kind of be at the side. It's kind of wonky and it just depends on the monster. But essentially, if you're like on the side, you also are able to build up the status with Status Sneak Attack. And this build is essentially the budget build for Blast, but it can be used for any melee elemental status weapon. So it's flexible and you can use it for everything else, unlike the last build where you need specific pieces and it just works for Blast. However, you do need the Nightshade Palumu Greaves at grade 6, and that's just for the Status Sneak Attack for the 1 level, as Rude Awakener level 1 also does nothing for this build. So you get 1 useless skill compared to the last build, which every skill does well for the Dual Blades. To use this build, you need the Magnamalo Dual Blades at grade 8, or at grade 10 or as high as you can get it, the Coral Puke Puke Helmet at grade 8, the Ciciaku Mail at grade 4, the Ciciaku Vambraces at grade 4, the Ciciaku Coil at grade 4, and the Nightshade Palumu Greaves at grade 6. Up next, we have the Magnamalo Dual Blades live tests grade 4.1, using the best build number 1, Teostra Blastpowder. Our test target is an 8-star Barroth, and the hunt result is failed with about 40% remaining. Magnamalo Dual Blades grade 4.1 are used for this test, so it's not a surprise they failed, but the goal was to see just how many blasts we can get off. Now this build is incomplete, as my Magnamalo Vambraces are at grade 4, providing Blast Attack level 1. And my Teostra Mail and Greaves are at grade 6, while my Teostra Coil is at grade 8. Despite all of this, we are able to proc 7 blasts. 7 times 5 is 35% of the damage total. And this test was impressive, as 3 blasts occurred in the first 19 seconds of the hunt. No, seriously, if you rewind it back, we're able to do a ton of blasts in a very short amount of time. While the test result was a fail, this is totally doable with a higher weapon grade level. And the blast results were great. So we got fast procs And even though it was really difficult to try to get the last ones off, that's just the natural way of it because blast gets harder the more you perform it on the monster. And again, I'm pretty sure if these dual blades were at least like grade 6, you would be able to take out this 8-star Barroth, no problem. Moving on, we are testing the second best build, status sneak attack level 5 with the Magnamalo Dual Blades at grade 4.1. And our test target is the same 8-star Barroth, with the hunt result being failed with about 51% HP remaining. So in total, this one did worse than the best build number 1. However, as Magnamalo Dual Blades grade 4.1 are used for this test, we are able to still blast proc 6 times. So 6 times 5 equals 30% damage total. And this test was actually really impressive, as 4 blasts occurred in the first 15 seconds of the hunt. So it was really good, and it actually did more blasts in the first initial phase versus the Teostra one. However, the test result was still a fail, but totally doable with a higher weapon grade level. Like I mentioned before, along with like grade 6.1 or higher, probably will be able to take out this 8-star Barroth. Blast results were still good despite using status sneak attack level 5 and having to be behind the monster for most of the hunt. That's what made it really difficult. Status sneak attack 5, you really need to know your positionings because you don't have to be completely behind, you can be on the side. But because of that, it's still kind of painful to operate status sneak attack level 5. You gotta know what you're doing and you gotta know your positioning. And just because we're getting our butt kicked by 8-star Barroth, we're gonna lower the standard and we're gonna have Magnamalo Dual Blades live test at grade 5.1. With the best build number 1, the Teostra Blastpowder build. Our test target is the 6-star Barroth, with a hunt result being completed in 30 seconds. Magnamalo Dual Blades, grade 4.1, are used for this test. Our Magnamalo Vambraces are at grade 4, providing blast attack level 1, with the Teostra Mail and Greaves are at grade 6, and the Teostra Coil, again, is at grade 8. We are able to do 5 blast procs, and 5 times 5 equals 25% blast damage total, with 75% of our weapon damage total coming from the dual blades and the raw. This test was incredibly impressive. 5 blast procs in 30 seconds is pretty nuts. That's 25%. So in 30 seconds you were able to... That was insane. Yeah, it's insane. Yes, we used a 6-star instead of an 8-star, but this test shows a grade 6 or 7 Magnamalo Dual Blade weapon can take down an 8-star Barroth. So when you can't finish it off, if it goes up, yes, we could take it out. But again, for something that's not an Elder Dragon weapon or a super weapon, this is still incredibly impressive that's able to do it, even though you kind of knew this was going to be able to take out the 6-star Barroth. Again, it still performed incredibly well, and was definitely worth looking at. Moving on, we had the Magnamalo Dual Blades overall analysis. So is it good? Heck yes, it was good. Dual Blades successfully procs blast at a fast rate due to its high attack speed. In comparison to my Teostra melee weapon tests from prior videos, the Magnamalo Dual Blades procs blast faster, and there was no balancing done for its proc rate. So it's still the same as the usual ones, or the hits, and it was like, okay, you know what? Let's leave it out there and let it go boom. So it's safe to conclude that the Magnamalo Dual Blades / Sinister Blades, the official name, is currently the best blast melee weapon in the game. It does it so fast, and again, there was no balancing done. Clear as from these results, and if you've tested it out yourself, yup, it's pretty dang good. So you should totally consider building it and using it. And honestly, that's how it feels. The power and the glory of the dual blades finally being respected and being given Blast Dual Blades. Hopefully this helps you with building your Magnamalo Dual Blades. This weapon is insane, and it does really well in group hunts too. In this group hunt, you're going to see me, despite the fact that everybody here is so overpowered and compared to my Sinister Blades, I'm still able to proc 2 blasts, which is still 10% of the monster's damage. But again, you're going to see this poor Gyrototus get melted pretty dang fast. But if you're thinking about it, this is totally worth building and maxing out to grade 10.5. It's not a super weapon, but you know what? It definitely is the best blast melee weapon in the game. The attack speed, the capability, it is absolutely incredible. And being an S-tier weapon, we finally have a powerful S-tier dual blades at our disposal. Please please do me a huge favor. Like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Enjoy your Blast Dual Blades and these builds, and I will see y'all on the next video.